can you tell us about Brandon Carlo, and do you think he could be a fit in Edmonton if they chose to go down that avenue?
You know what? 6'5", right-handed, solid defensive defenseman that every once in a while will surprise you with an offensive play. That's kind of how I would describe Brandon Carlo. Great teammate, great human being, good friends with my son, obviously played years with him there in Boston. Really good at stopping the cycle, really good at penalty killing, blocking shots, and just being that big presence in front of the net. I have a lot of time for Brandon Carlo, in that role. Listen, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be up in your top 4 or even top 2, but put into a role where he's put out there to be a defensive-minded defenseman and do his job, no problem whatsoever. He's a hard guy to play against, and he's done it for a long time on a team that prides themselves in defense. So that right there in itself tells me that it doesn't matter where he goes, he's going to get the job done in that regard. And I think he'd be a welcome addition for either of the teams here in the Pacific Division. And if I'm saying it, I'd rather, if you're an Oiler fan, you'd much rather Oilers get him than Calgary, because he's going to be a hard guy to play against. He's got that range. He's got that reach. He plays physical enough. He's gotten more physical, I believe, over the course of his career. I think he's a guy that can step right in and he'll get the job done. He's not a guy that's gonna come to a new organization and not know how to play the game at that systems that they're playing. He's going to adjust and he's going to be fine. He's a good player, and that's why he's been in Boston for a long time. And they had the best record in history a few years ago, and he was a big part of that. So I think that Boston right now is in a transitional period. There's some players there that a lot of teams are looking at right now, because those teams have had success over the last 8-9 years. And have been a perennial team looking to win the Stanley Cup. They know they're going to be in the playoffs. This year, there's a little question mark there, and you're starting to see some rumblings about some players in Boston, and I think there's a lot of teams lining up to knock on that door and potentially bring them into theirs.
He checks a lot of boxes for me. 6'5", $4.1 million, 2 more years after this one. Can kill penalties for you. They desperately need help on the PK. It's just kind of like, all right, give me a reason to not like this guy, I guess, is what I'd say to someone.
And you know what, Todd? He's so good on the penalty kill. He really is. He is a specialist at blocking shots. He's got the long reach, like you said. Vinny Desharnais was that kind of, that guy last year we talked about, hey, he's getting in the shot lane. He's got the long reach at 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is. He's really tall. Carlo's similar to that, but Carlo's established. He's been around for a long time, right? He's been around in the league for 9 years. This is his 10th year. And, he's been through it, and he's been through some wars, so he understands how to buckle down and play that kind of a game. I agree with you. I have a lot of time for him. I think he'd be a great pickup and at a great price point for what you're going to get for him on that back end.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.